I've seen the edge of the world. I've stood at the wall that wasn't meant to be touched by human hands. It's a wall of ice, stretching as far as you can see, taller than mountains, and older than time itself. And if you stand close enough, you can feel it, something trapped, rumbling beneath. I know because I was there when it was built. I was there when the gods nearly lost everything. Back then, the Titans and their beasts roamed freely. They were forces of nature, giants who could crush mountains with a step, beasts whose roars split the earth. The Titans had ruled the world before the gods, and they wanted it back. When the first battles began, the gods thought they'd end it quickly. They were wrong. I remember standing beside Zeus, watching as Typhon, the largest of the Titans, rose out of the ocean. His shadow covered the land, blocking out the sun. His voice was like thunder as he shouted, "This world belongs to us. Not to you, not to your mortals, to us." Zeus tightened his grip on his lightning bolt. "This world has moved on from your chaos, Typhon," he said, his voice hard. "It belongs to those who bring life, not ruin." But Typhon laughed, and with that, the Titans attacked. The earth trembled as giants stormed forward. Mountains crumbled, forests were flattened. The gods fought back with all they had. I saw Athena, fierce and determined, leading an army of warriors against Krios, the titan of constellations, his massive form lined with shimmering stars. She fought with unmatched skill, but even she was barely holding him back. The monsters were relentless. They were creatures older than any god, older than time itself. I remember seeing one, a massive serpent with eyes like fire and scales harder than iron, slam its tail against the ground, creating cracks that split the earth for miles. It was Ares who met the beast head-on, his sword flashing as he shouted, "Is this all you've got? Come on." He charged forward, fearless, but even he was struggling to match the monster's strength. For every titan or beast the gods defeated, two more seemed to rise. Soon, it was clear that even the gods were struggling. Hades, usually calm and calculating, looked at his brothers with a grim expression. "They're going to overrun us," he said. "We need something more. This isn't just a battle. It's a reckoning." Poseidon, his trident dripping with the blood of a fallen creature, nodded. "If they take this world, they won't stop. They'll tear it apart, leave nothing behind." I'll never forget the moment when Zeus made his decision. He looked at his siblings, his face hard, then turned to me. "We can't defeat them outright, but maybe we can imprison them." "How?" I asked, trying to keep the fear out of my voice. He raised his lightning bolt, his eyes filled with a resolve I'd never seen before. "We'll drive them to the edge of the world, and then we'll seal them away, once and for all." The plan was desperate, but it was all we had. The gods gave everything they had, every bit of strength, every last drop of power, to push the Titans and the beasts back, forcing them toward the cold, barren lands at the end of the earth. As they reached the edge, I remember watching as Zeus raised his lightning and struck the ground. A massive crack formed, and from that crack rose a wall of ice, higher and higher, surrounding the Titans and their beasts. The ice glowed with a faint, unearthly light. The last remnants of the gods' power poured into it. The Titans howled in rage, slamming against the ice, but it held firm. Typhon roared, his massive fists pounding against the wall as he glared at Zeus. "This won't hold us forever, Zeus," he shouted. "We will break free, and when we do, we'll tear this world apart." Zeus stared back at him, his face grim but unyielding. "Then you'll stay there until the end of time," he said, "because as long as this wall stands, you'll never leave." With a final blast of lightning, Zeus sealed the wall. The Titans and their beasts were trapped, their roars and howls fading as the ice settled. The wall became silent, its glow dimming, until it was just a vast, frozen barrier stretching across the edge of the world. I remember standing there in the quiet that followed, feeling the weight of what we'd just done. The gods looked exhausted, their power nearly drained. Hades was the first to speak, his voice barely a whisper. "Do you think it will hold?" Zeus didn't answer right away. He just stared at the ice wall, as if listening for something beneath it. Finally, he nodded, though his expression was somber. "It has to," he said. "If it doesn't, We may not be here to stop them next time. The gods left after that, their power fading with each step until they became mere whispers, myths that people would remember but never see again. And I stayed and watched, guarding the edge of the world, watching as the ice wall stood firm, holding back the evil that once walked the earth. Sometimes, in the dead of night, I'd hear it, the faint rumbling from deep within, like something massive shifting, pushing, testing its prison. The titans and their beasts haven't forgotten. They're still there, waiting, held back by the wall the gods built with their last strength. Ages passed, and I returned to the ice wall and saw what I'd feared. The cracks were real. Water trickled from one solid ice, and deep within, shadows moved. Global warming, they call it. The gods' prison for titans and beasts, built to hold for eternity, is failing because of us. The warmth we unleashed is undoing their work. The ice thins, the rumbling grows, and I know the gods aren't here to save us this time. We stand alone as the ancient horrors press against their melting cage. When it breaks, will we be ready, or will we fall?